from Melbourne, Australia. And tonight, as always, we are sponsored by Game Toppers. Upgrade your gaming experience.
Welcome to Game All Night.
What do you think there, Mr. Dan? Welcome to Game All Night. Do you like our new intro?
I think it's awesome. I mean, it features 100% more me, so
it does. It does.
For it.
And you get top billing. How does that happen?
I don't know why I'm leading it off. It seems entirely inappropriate. But.
Well, I had to do it because you're throwing me the drink.
So there's the real key.
It is.
Bartender slides that on down the city, and then then I fade into the distance
on the Mr. Rogers City train.
It's awesome.
Exactly. So speaking of drinks, what did you pour for me this time, sir?
We got a couple of good beers queued up today. So you are drinking from Two Roads Brewing the Too Juicy. I've heard rumors, Chris, that you enjoy a good New England IPA.
I do. This is nice, bitter, cloudy, got some nice floral hops in there.
It's an unfiltered New England IPA, so it's got that hazy character to it. Super citrusy, super juicy. I dig that one a bunch. So as soon as you smell that, you know what you're in for.
Exactly. What do you have?
Me, I'm drinking one that would be far less up your alley, I think. So Bell's Brewing has a line called Larry's Latest.
Okay.
Which is their badge for their experimentals and one-offs. And this is Larry's Latest Sour. So it's a sour ale, but with a stronger malt backbone than you'll usually see in some of them. So it's got some like citrus tang, and then I really enjoy it, but maybe a little more sour than would be entirely.
And I think you are correct with that, fair sir. So tonight, because it is night, right? It's like legit night.
For some of us.
We have Ella from Ella Loves Board Games on, who's joining us from the complete opposite end of the globe. So she's not, she could drink beer. That's totally cool. But Miss Ella, what are you drinking this morning for you?
I'm drinking chai.
Just a nice chai tea. It's a good way to start a morning. I love it. And look at the backdrop. That's gorgeous. I love it over there. I love your whole aesthetic. It's just... Yeah, well, I learned that you also did fashion design and studied that, right? So this explains your aesthetic a lot to me then.
Yes, I love beautiful things.
Fair enough. And you came on the show anyway, so.
No, you're very dapper. I like the outfits. Even the intro is very, very smooth, suave.
Oh, well, thank you. And I've noticed, so anybody who knows Ella, you've kind of jumped on the scene, the whole YouTube and the video scene, and gaming scene, we'll get into that, rather rapidly, and it's amazing to watch just how fast you're kind of learning and developing this whole... It's not just about pointing a camera and taking video. I mean, there's a lot of work that's going into this that I can certainly see you're putting into it.
Yeah, it's been very surreal for me because I didn't know that it was going to be that fast.
Right.
Although I'm very enthusiastic about it. I think I'm making up for all the time that I wasn't gaming and I wasn't passionate about this. And so because I feel like I'm behind, I guess I'm catching up. That's why I'm doing a lot at this in a small amount of time. I don't know. And I guess there are a lot of people who are beginners like me who see, maybe relate to that enthusiasm. I don't know. I don't know what's happening, actually.
No, I think that's completely valid. I think, when somebody first gets into the hobby, they're really searching for a voice that they can hear, that they can latch on to, that kind of, resonates the excitement that they have. And sometimes, stuffy people talking about board games, they've been doing it for 5, 10, 15 years, is not the voice that they're looking for. They're looking for someone who's fresh and excited and hasn't played all the old stuff yet or all the new stuff yet. You know, it's still new and exciting, and it comes through.
I know, I'm still discovering a lot of things. Like, I've been discovering older games that, you know, people, even because I post on Instagram, so
Right.
that's where it started really. And when I put up an old game, some of the people are like, I've never played this. I'm like, you should play it. It's awesome. And now I'm obsessed with Castles of Burgundy.
Right.
And I'm on this failed obsession. So when I was new, I played Trajan, and I wasn't into Euro games that much yet, so I didn't appreciate it. But now I'm like, your taste change, and the journey is, you know, different for everybody. So now I'm into Stefan Feld, and I'm really obsessed with that. So, and that enthusiasm, I feel I feel nervous about it also, because when I recommend a game, people are like, I'll buy that. I'm like, oh, no, maybe check it out first. But also, I feel happy that they discover new games because of me. Because
Right.
I'm very grateful that people introduce games to me. So I'm happy to do the same for other people.
Yeah, it's really fun when you can show somebody something that has been around for a while, but is so new to them. They're like, oh my goodness, I didn't know this. And I remember the first Feld game I played was Macau, and I hated it. Absolutely hated it. But I love most Stefan Feld games now. It's like that one still kind of doesn't resonate with me quite so well, but most of the other ones I totally love. So I get it. It's like, but it's new. It's like when you first try a foreign cuisine, right? It's like it's all amazing and it's all great, but in the end, you kind of find a couple favorites or a couple styles that you like inside that cuisine. I think board games are a lot like that.
This is true. And your taste change also. Like, there's some games that I really loved before, and I will never, not never touch, but I'd rather play another game. So
Right.
I've found that, yeah. Because I used to hate roll and writes. I'm like, I'm not playing roll and writes. There are no bits.
Yep.
Like, why would I play then there are no bits? But now I'm obsessed, especially now because there's so many. It's getting better and better. I'm into them, like, wholeheartedly, deep dive.
I really like anything that you can kind of roll a dice and kind of have. I heard you reference it earlier. It's like it's the input randomness, because I heard you kind of talk about that, and like I agree with you. Like, I like that where everybody's dealing with the same pile of mess, right? That's fun.
True.
You know, I don't necessarily like I'm rolling my own thing, you're rolling yours. Like, no, I like it when we all play together out of the same stuff.
What's your favorite game that has that aspect?
Right now, honestly, it's 2-player Grand Austria Hotel with my wife. Is probably
Oh, that's amazing.
it's probably like the best one, and I might put La Granja pretty close to that too. But Castles of Burgundy, every time. I just pray to God that they make a pretty version. I'm sorry. I know. I really want like a pretty version. Like I love that because it's so fun and it's great. I want the bits to match that. Don't you?
Yeah, I do also. But there was somebody arguing that because it's so simple and basically the cardboard is pretty cheap, that anybody can buy it. And I saw it from that aspect. Oh, yeah, maybe. Because it's like $20.
Right.
So if you can, like, not a lot of games you can buy for $20 that are that good. So I guess that's the balance, yeah.
So how many people are going to... Right, and how many people are going to take a $20 chance on a game? It's pretty easy to ask that, especially if everybody's going around saying, you know, Castles of Burgundy is still one of the quintessential, you know, take a die, do a move games, period.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm so surprised by that game because I played a lot of things already. And then when I played an old game, wow, an old game can still stand up to all the games that are out there. It's pretty amazing. Like, I just was blown away by, wow, Stefan Feld is a genius.
yeah, there are, I mean, and that's just it. Some of, like you say, some of the old games really do that. Have you had a chance to try Bora Bora yet?
No, there's so many games, so little time.
Well, he does a similar thing where you have dice that you have to roll and use, and it's different. It's a little more interactive than Castles of Burgundy, and I think there's a little more going on. But it's honestly, of Feld games, it's probably, I put Castles as number 1, Bora Bora is probably number 2. Like, I just love it.
Oh, really? I should try it out then.
Yeah, I think you might like it. I'm sorry if I put you on that path. But on the plus side, it's one of those, over here, $25 games that we can get on sale typically.
So let me like offer a counterpoint to the aesthetic thing. So like you're talking about, you wish you could get a pretty version of Castles of Burgundy.
I do.
And I think right now we're very much in an era where, like, you know, game after game publishers are doing amazing things by making stuff beautiful. But I feel like the first wave of Euro games, there was something about their appeal that was nestled in the fact that they weren't striving for like being a beautiful thing. Like they didn't promise, you know, anything out front. They weren't outrageous. They weren't colorful. They were just like in Castles of Burgundy fits right in there in the same place that like Caelus fits, that like Catan fit, where all of these games were subdued in a sense in their presentation. Sure. And I think there's something to that with old school like Euro designs and a muted at best presentation.
Well, I mean, you could still have a nice generic light pastel-y color palette. Like, for instance, if Beth Sobel did it, could you imagine what Castles of Burgundy would look like if Beth Sobel did the artwork for it?
I feel like it would somehow be incongruous with the game you're getting in a way. And maybe that's a bias because I've already seen the one we have today, but I don't know. I feel like that would oversell it in a way. Like Beth Sobel's art's like punchier than what the game is going to do for you. I don't know.
All right.
I think maybe Clemens France would be good because he's done a lot of games that are, you know, pastoral. So I think
right.
The Clans of Caledonia is Clemens France, right?
Yep.
Something like that would even look really good in Castles of Burgundy.
I agree, and it's funny because, you know, we had this exact same argument with 18XX because we can go back and forth because the tiles are literally. We cut them out of laminated paper, and you pay hundreds of dollars to do this, okay? But it's not, in the end, it's about the game, not the bits. And I think, you know, a lot of times, you know, but and this is definitely something I've found the longer I play, like the games I've had a while and I really love, I really want to add to them and kind of make them my own. You know, I want to use custom bits. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're speaking to the choir.
I mean, it is. We just played Sulkin last night, Monday night. And I painted mine up. I got all the bits. I made a foam core insert. Like, I went all the way. And this was probably in the first 10 games that I bought as a hobby gamer, and I still have it. I still play it. I still bling it. I literally bought bits for it not too long ago. It's just one of those things that, you still love it. Like, I think the feeling I have for Tzolk'in is probably that same kind of feeling you have for Castles. I think it's that one that just kind of catches you out, and it has that early kind of love, and I think you're always going to feel that way about it. I don't think that'll change.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
I don't think
exactly.
I don't think Chris has done the Instagram thing, but a few of his like pimped out, customized board games would certainly make a fine beginnings to an Instagram account, and maybe leading with that Tzolk'in.
So you're gonna take them home and photograph them for me?
You do not want me to be your social media content manager. I'll tell you that much.
I'll do it.
Shipping might be a little expensive to Australia, but
that's true. It'll cost you your firstborn.
Yeah, pretty much. I actually have friends who are visiting New Zealand and the Golden Coast as we speak. I guess they're just waking up right now. They just went to Hobbit Town, where I think you want to go next year.
Yes, I want to go. Yeah.
So where exactly, if we're looking at Australia, and again, remember, Australia is as wide as the United States. We don't tend to think of that. Like, it's 3,000 miles wide.
Yeah.
So whereabouts in that are you located?
Okay. Sorry. So, because I
thought you had a map.
So I put the drink down. So if the map is like that,
Right.
I'll be at a little bit on the tip of that, and then New Zealand will be downwards.
Gotcha. All right. So you're kind of not, you're almost in the middle, or more on the...
Mostly Australia is desert, so really everybody is just on the coast. So it's as huge as the United States, but really in the middle there's nothing. Sand.
No. Just Ayers Rock stuck in the middle of nowhere.
Which is not bad to go to.
No, but it's a long trip just to see a rock. I don't know.
It's a beautiful rock, though. That's the biggest bit you can see.
I found it funny too, because one of the reasons my friend's over there is his wife is from Bundaberg. So they're obviously she grew up there, and constant stories of everything that can kill you in Australia is really not overrated, because she grew up on a farm and pointing out deadly snakes, and it's crazy the life that one can have, and you still don't take it for granted.
Yeah, in the bush is a bit well. Yeah, I found that people are obsessed when they talk to me. They're obsessed with what can kill you, like in your household.
Well, that's what we think.
It's not.
That's all we're told. We're just told everything can kill you, and it's just like.
Well, a lot of us haven't died yet, so it's we're okay.
There you go. So you're still here. You're still with us. So that's what's important. Now,
thank you.
The interesting thing is, and we've been talking about your experience in gaming, and what I think a lot of people would be shocked to find is, you're new to broadcasting this and talking about this, but you're also really new to the hobby itself. You're only, about 18 months in?
Yeah, I started, officially like a hardcore hobbyist last February. So I just had my anniversary, February, because I was introduced around December during a party, but that was just like a dabble.
Right.
I was introduced to Dix, stuff like that. But then I started going to meetups, and that was officially February 26, I think, because my friend just reminded me and sent a picture.
Wow.
Yeah, like I would call myself a newbie. There's still a lot of other things I don't know, and I'm finding out. Like, people would tell me acronyms, like I have no idea what that is. It's really amazing, just given, like, you do play a lot. You've also been to probably as many conventions in the United States as I have. And I live here, and I live driving distance of most of those. But it's kind of scary. And you're set up to go to Essen this year, which arguably is probably not much further than coming to the United States. So what has you excited for that? I'm a Eurogamer, so it's like Eurogamer Mecca. I'm just excited. I want to buy the old games, because I went to Europe, a few years ago, and I was able to buy games that you could not buy. Like, I bought, what did I buy that was impossible? Like, I bought Versindas book. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. This book, I want Glenmore, so stuff you can't buy here. So I'm excited about getting Bruges. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Poco. Like really, or Ispahan, because I played that once at SolCon, and it was like one of the older dice placement games.
Yeah.
It's not as good as the others, but still, it was good. I mean, I was just blown away by the fact I was like done. How many years ago was that? Maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It was really good. So stuff like that, I'm excited about.
I still have Ispahan.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I'm like, how can something be bigger than Gen Con?
Well, I think you're going to find out. I'll be really curious to see what you think on the backside, because you kind of went from Origins to Gen Con to that with a local con here and there.
Have you been to Essen?
Oh, no. And I don't know that I will, just because I have other hobbies, and while my wife shares this, we'd rather do different things on our vacation. So it's kind of, when it comes to big vacation money, I don't know that a trip to Europe just to do board gaming is actually on the list. So unfortunately, I'd say right now, unless there is serious help, I can't really do it.
Aw. I'm going to Amsterdam before that, so I put in a trip so that it's not a waste. Yeah. So
Oh, no, it's not a waste. Don't get me wrong. But one of the things, my wife and I love to scuba dive, and, it's kind of like there's really not a big diving place in Germany. So.
Have you been to the Philippines? Because I come from the Philippines, and if you do scuba diving, that's the best place because our corals are amazing. Like, because I went to Palawan just recently, and I went because I don't scuba dive, but I did snorkeling. I really recommend it. It was like being in Blue Lagoon. Like,
it's on the it's definitely on the bucket list, like truck and going down there, and we went to Hawaii 2 years ago. Actually, we were there 2 years ago this week, and it was gorgeous. So I can't imagine what even the Philippines are like. So it's definitely on the short list for sure.
Tell me, I'll hook you up. You'll get local rates.
I
Yes.
I approve of local rates, believe me. All right, well, I think this is a great place to stop. I think we're going to take a quick break. So, Mr. Dan, if you would play us out, we'll be right back after this. Pontifications with Patrick Hillier.
The friars were behind on their belfry payments, so they opened a small florist shop to raise funds. Since everyone liked to buy flowers from men of God, a rival florist across town thought this was unfair. He asked the good fathers to close down, but they would not. He went back and begged the friars to close. They ignored him. So the rival florist hired Hugh McTaggart, the roughest, most vicious thug in town, to persuade them to close. Hugh beat up the friars and trashed their store, saying he'd be back if they didn't close up shop. Terrified, they did so, thereby proving that only Hugh can prevent florist friars.
Welcome back. Ella is still here with me, joining me on the set from Australia. We had time where we took time for some late night drinks here, and Ella had some breakfast there. So we're enjoying the time change, right?
Yes, we are very much. I'm used to it now.
Absolutely.
Side of the world.
Well, it's funny. We don't really take for granted, like, oh, it's Eastern, it's Pacific, it's 2 hours, it's 3 hours. But when we actually talk to you, you're actually on tomorrow already. So it's very confusing.
From the future.
Exactly. You are literally talking to me from the future because, it's in the morning over there. It's already Friday there. It's still Thursday here. It's very confusing to me. So I trust Google to sort out the schedule, right?
I know, because last time that happened, it didn't. So I'm like, I had to confirm with Chris, is this in the AM or in the evening? Because I'm used to talking to people also like at 11 p.m. at night. Because yesterday I was just talking to David and Jeremy from Man vs. Meeple at 11 p.m. Yeah.
Yikes.
Which was their morning.
The cool thing, so you kind of are bouncing around. You're doing some reviews. You've also started doing some pretty cool unboxing videos, which, I'm not a big fan of unboxing, but you do them so quickly that it's over before you even realize it.
True. Yeah, that's not even something that, I think because people are like, you invented this. No, I did not. I saw it on Instagram also. And
sure.
iPhone, like, people ask, how do you do it? It's on the iPhone. It's like one of the ways to shoot a video. So But yeah, I like unbox. I know a lot of people don't, but I like it. It's like Christmas. Like I'm always excited about opening a box, and I want to share. Again, I'm very enthusiastic, so I want to share that experience. And yeah, that quick unboxing is yeah. I don't. People even have said that it's very soothing. Like they watch it over and over. So for those people, you're welcome.
Right. It's just it's definitely it's good. It's the right amount of time, and it's it fills a little niche that people want. I guess they want to see these things.
Yeah. Although I have to be honest. After going to a lot of cons, I've had like a bit of a break from unboxings and being excited about opening games because
Okay.
for a while I was overwhelmed by the amount of games that I had. Have you had that experience?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you kind of
Yeah.
you just want to consume everything, so you kind of you
Yeah.
start to get stuff, and then you have the guilt because it's just sitting there and it's not getting played, and then maybe you punch it because you want to interact with the game somehow. Right, you're like, I need to do something with this. I bought it. I need to organize the bits, or I need to learn it. And sometimes it'll sit there for a while before you actually get a chance to play it. And I kind of can be a lot of negative energy from that too, because you're giving yourself grief over not playing something you bought for fun, and it should not be a matter of stress, right?
Yeah, this is true. I actually felt it a little bit more after Gen Con. I don't know if it's like con stress, if there's such a thing. Like going con after con, like I felt the consumption, especially
Right.
at Gen Con. I don't know if it's not Gen Con's fault, but more like there's like people lining up and buying a ton of games, and even me, because I was guilty of it. Like
Sure.
looking at games and buying them. And I didn't really it wasn't on my list. I wasn't looking forward to it, but because of the atmosphere. Then after a while, I had a low, like that negative feeling, like, oh, what am I doing? I'm buying so much things that I'm not using.
Right.
I felt like, what am I doing? Yeah.
And then you
I had a bit
have
of
the added
after that.
right, and then you have the added fun of having to get it home, and that whole
Yes.
that can't be easy.
I know. No, it wasn't. And I fly alone usually, so it's like 3 suitcases. Like, yeah.
Yikes. But no, it's a genuine thing. And I went to Gen Con last year, and I did Origins this year, and I can definitely tell you that Gen Con was more about, for me, and my limited exposure ended up feeling like the main con floor and everything. It was more about consumption and getting and trying to find the hot new thing and what's everybody talking about this year, versus Origins. There's a little bit of that, but there's not as many releases and new stuff, so that hype and that pressure isn't as intense, right? Like I think we waited for like Welcome to or something like that. Like you went and you lined up, and they usually had enough copies. They would tell you, okay, you can get one. No, you can't. And that was it. That was life.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
So I mean,
Actually,
like,
Origins is my favorite.
So far. Dan?
yeah, I was going to say that we only board games is a tricky hobby because there's only so many opportunities we get to play with other people. It's a thing you want to play with a group, and however often. And some people have game nights multiple nights a week, but there's still a finite amount of hours where you're going to be actually sitting at a table getting to play these games.
Right.
So we need other ways to interact with our hobby, with our games, and the first obvious one is just acquiring more and consumption and buying them. And that only goes so far. So there is that point where we all struggle, I think, as folks who are just enthusiasts about games, to find a way to engage that is neither playing nor buying new ones, and finding that third way of getting into the game in a way where I'm by myself and I don't want to just spend more money, but I have to find a way to embrace games.
I guess it was a good, like I always said, it was a negative, not really negative, but it was just a different feeling that I've had because I was pretty excited about buying
Right.
things because I'm new. So it was a new thing for me to feel that. And then I kind of sort of had to reassess like what. It's very weird because I'm talking about something like it's a very deep thing, but I had to reassess my experience of the hobby.
Right.
So that now I'm focusing more on playing, like I'm playing older games, I'm playing games that I have, yeah, things like that. So I guess it was a positive experience too in that sense. Even the way that my like the focus of my content, because I used to have a lot of unboxings, opening stuff. These are new games. Now I'm
Right.
focusing more on like creative content, like those pronunciation videos, and I'm thinking about doing like a beginner series. And I did a video about Castles of Burgundy. So in that sense, like it trickles over to how I communicate about the hobby too, and not just how I experience it. So it was a good thing in the end. Yeah.
No, I totally agree. And when I was doing a little bit of, I like to go through and revisit everybody's content and things before I have them on the show. I try and consume as much as I can to get myself in the brain. And I kind of went through and, I actually got to watch the pronunciation videos again, because I watched them real quick when they popped up, and you're just like, oh, that's funny. Then I'm like, when you watch them and you're kind of like, I don't think people understand that sometimes the shortest videos take the most work. Right? Because there's a lot of editing to get that down and then to add in all the extra bits. And it's funny how we kind of can say like my 10-minute videos could sometimes take more to edit than the big show. It's true.
Yeah. Especially if you're because I'm still learning editing. Yeah, I'm sure something like this also is very hard to edit, because on top of that you have to make it like, would this be something that people watch, because you have to do it well, like edit it well so that you capture people's attention. But
no, you're absolutely
on top of that,
right.
You want am I not looking like a fool? Some of the videos I've been making are like, oh, I don't know, my son will hate me when he watches this. It's so cringy.
But I think that within the hobby, I think one of the things that, a lot of the creators who are really good are they're flawed, right? And I think that that's a good thing. I think it shows that they're not perfect. And I think if somebody tries to make themselves that way, I think it's not genuine, right? It's like, what's the stuff you like to watch? You like to watch somebody who, can make fun of themselves or be a little goofy or, have fun at their own expense. I think that's conducive to making good content, because I think, people need to see a little bit of themselves in what they're seeing. Does that make sense?
No, it totally makes sense. Because I remember there was a time when Rodney put up a video, I think it was pandemic, and then he took it down again because there was a mistake. I'm like, oh, Rodney makes mistakes.
He
Like,
did 3 of them
so
on that one.
comforting. I know. So it's like, it's because I do that also. I'm like, oh, he does it too. He's not perfect. Like, because sometimes you aspire, like you have this idea of other people when you watch them, like, oh, it must have been so easy for them. When
Right.
it's really not, when you're making content. So I'm just like, everybody goes through the same experience as I do. Don't be so hard on yourself, because I'm really hard on myself. I don't even watch
Right.
my videos sometimes after, because yeah.
No. I believe me, I understand. It's like, if people hate hearing themselves on the radio, imagine what it's like both editing yourself and hearing yourself. It's like all the audio things you hate about yourself, and then all the visual things, like you're like, I really do that much. I play with my glasses all the time. I say way too much. It's like all those little things get magnified a ton.
Yeah.
But I think it's important. I think exactly. But people need to know that, we're just here. We're here to have fun. And, some of the best stuff is stuff that isn't heavily edited. And it is just, the raw person. I mean, I want to watch worthwhile content. Don't get me drooling on a monitor for half an hour. But, at the same time, it's better when you speak from the heart.
How do you feel about when you put out, because this is very personal when you do something like this, because it's your time away from your family, Well, how do you feel about when people, have mean comments on your content?
So I'm going to open the can of worms and say I'm very fortunate that very little of it has really come to light outside of when I was on the Dice Tower board game breakfast briefly. So when I was there, yeah, there was a ton of negative. And for me, it was more of they don't get it. I'm not going to try and make this fit. I'm just going to go do my own thing. So I was able to just kind of sever the limb and move on. So I'm very fortunate, knock on wood, that, you know, the worst I've been called recently is that I'm very dry, but, you know, like, that's okay. I can take criticism, but it's tough because every time you open up a comment or you see something, or somebody doesn't retweet a thing that you would hope that they would, or whatever, there's a little part of you that's kind of like, oh, that you feel like it's definitely can hurt a little bit. So I can only imagine, you know, when you take some of the other stuff and you expand it out and you see that a lot of people get a lot of grief for just doing something they love, you know, that's tough. I don't have that experience aside from a very small amount that like I said, I just kind of ran away from that screaming like a little child. So that's my solution to my problem. But, you know, so how are you coping with it? Because I'm sure that, you know, we see some of this, right? And I'm sure you're getting some too. So how are you dealing with it?
Well, yeah, I'm very sensitive. Like, I'm very sensitive to that stuff because I really feel it's very personal because you know, it takes a lot of time to edit and things like that. I guess I ask a lot of advice from people, or I remember the person that because I'm going to speak about Rodney again. I always talk about him, but I remember I went to Origins and I spoke to him about it, and he had great advice. He said that these people don't know how it is to make content. They have no idea, and they spent like a few seconds banging on the keyboard, and that I'm looking at them as colleagues when they're not. Because it's like I feel like somebody, like if Rodney said this was horrible or you said it was horrible, that really hurts. And so in a way, I'm looking at trolls who are, you know, just randomly commenting on the same level when I shouldn't be.
Right.
They have no idea what it takes. So in that sense, it helps a lot. But still, I have a few moments where I'm like, oh man, like you know how it feels when you have like 100 positive comments and then one, and then I fixate on that one.
Yeah.
I should stop doing that. Like, you have to consciously say, oh, I should, come on, Ella, get out of it.
And that's very true, and you should, because it's really the positive things far should outweigh, and unfortunately our mind goes the opposite. It puts much more weight on negatives. Now, it's one thing if it's legit constructive criticism, like I will always take that, but just being hurtful or I don't like this or this isn't, you know, what is this about, not understanding it, that's not your audience. That's not the person you're making it for. Really, you're making it for you on the other side of the camera, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
You're making it for Ella from 3 months ago or something like that.
Ella as a newbie, yeah.
Right, and that's
True.
I think that's the important part is that, you know, to seek the peer advice and the peer, you know, review as you do, and not a lot of people do. They just make content in a vacuum and expect that it's just going to be great, and it's not. And then it's like, well, then they wonder why things don't happen. But when you seek advice from the people who care and they watch your stuff and you get that feedback, we don't want everybody saying, oh, everybody's stuff is good, but at the same time, what can I do a little bit better? What's not right? You know, what can we fix? And it's like, and then slowly it kind of comes into line, and then you can actually see the vision that you had to begin with.
True. Because have you had that experience where you have a vision and you can't execute it? I've had that experience a lot. Like, I want to do this, but I can't because my skills are at this level. And so what do you do when that happens?
I know it's so you have two choices, right? You can fail and you can say, I'm done with this, I'm never doing it again, right? Or you can say, okay, well, my vision is X. This is not that. So how can I get there? And I think a lot of times we kind of, as humans, say, I want to get here. And you say, how can I get there? And that's fine, but who can help me get there is a better question. Because True. It's not, if you don't have the skill, like I would not, I probably could cut out all these meeples, but there's no way that is a skill that I would have. So knowing who the right person is or seeking the right advice from the right person helps you get to that goal, then that way you can see your vision as a whole. And I think that's the hard part, because we want to do it ourselves, or for many reasons. We want to be self-sufficient. We don't want to ask for help. We don't want to expose ourselves to other people, whatever it is. But we need to get there. And it's like, if you want to, you're going to need to bring somebody else in, and you're going to need help. Yeah. And it's the best thing to do. And I know you ask for help, and I've seen you ask for help. And you solicit that, so you know.
Yeah. Maybe because I'm a teacher, and I know, like, I encourage that in my students to ask. Yeah, because there's no harm in knowledge,
Right.
And the beautiful thing about the industry, which is the best experience I've ever had, is that people are very, like 99.9% of the people that I encounter are really, really great with sharing information. They're not, what's the word? Yeah, they share a lot. Like even David and Jeremy, you would think, because they have a high level, like you would think that I'm going to keep my secrets to me so that I'm only the best one who makes this kind of content. But really, they share everything. They would look, like I remember Jeremy edited my video and talked about how to edit, and David tells me how to do stuff, and so I get better at editing.
Right.
In that sense, like, wow, you're really sharing all the information that you've learned the hard way by doing it yourself and doing it freely. So it's awesome.
And I
love that about it. Yeah, the hobby.
Yeah, and it's really true. I don't come across many people who are trying to hold somebody else back just to make themselves better. The hobby's too small. We all need to grow. And the only way for that is for everybody to rise together, right? We all need to work on this stuff. The more people who know how to edit, the more people are making good content. Right. The better it looks to everybody else, right? And then the rising tide floats all boats is the saying, right?
It's true. More audience, yeah. Yeah. It goes the same to people who say, what do you call this? Will Wheaton. Because he only covers stuff that, like pretty basic games, and people are like, there's so much, better games out there. But really, the more audience he has, the better for us.
Right. And you know what? If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be sitting here. That's the plain truth. Because he was the gateway drug for me, because I saw him playing these games and they looked really cool, and then next thing you know, I'm trying to have game days, and then I'm seeking out meetups, and boom, I'm in the hobby. So, I mean, you never know, and you also don't know anybody's experience, and that's why I say, you're speaking to Ella from 3, 6, 10 months ago, because that's really who your audience is. My audience is, like, I want to make this for gamers, but I also want to make this for gamers who have somebody in their life who they don't game, and that they can maybe sit down and watch a show and laugh and learn something different about somebody else, and it's not all games. It's like I want it to be kind of more open and accessible to a lot more people. That's the goal.
Yeah, for sure.
So, well, in any event, I thought it would be fun because if you've noticed, I've completely avoided pronouncing your last name. So I think,
it's a bit hard.
I know, but I think that, since, and if you haven't seen the two videos, I think they're great, and I'm anxiously awaiting more, because I think they're fun, and they're, you know what, usually we're too embarrassed to ask, and that's what it boils down to. And if Ignacy can point somebody to something to tell him how to pronounce his name, believe me, you'll make his life a lot better. So good luck in that. Probably aired by the time this comes on.
I've asked for prayers.
I did see that. So
I know. One of the harder ones. I'm nervous about it, actually.
well, there's definitely stakes there. And, are you going to wait till after Essen, or are you going to do it before and try and get his feedback? That's my question.
I might do it after Essen. I don't know. I might practice a bit. Yeah.
There you go. And then maybe you make him say it at the end. Because he says it too fast. That's the problem. We can't get it.
Yeah, no. I watched a few videos, though. They did a contest. Portal did. So I'll see if I can say it correctly. Yeah. And so anybody who watches my video, it's an attempt. I could be wrong, but that's my best attempt.
But I like that you're not. I can definitely tell. I'm like, oh, she's totally a teacher, because I can see the way you break it down, and you're just like, you're breaking it down into its components. You're comparing the components to something we already know, and then you're putting it back together. And I'm like, such a teacher.
I am an EAL teacher, actually, English as an additional language. So
Okay.
I'm trying to incorporate that. Yeah, I kind of fell into that. It's very weird, also, that pronunciation thing. It was actually not my. Most of the content is me.
Right.
It was actually. It was Twitter again. Everything that happened to me, good that has happened to me, is through Twitter. I was discussing how to pronounce Teotihuacan with. I think it was Paul Grogan's post, because he's doing a playthrough, or how to.
Right.
And yeah, so the people from publishing company, NSKN, just like, do you want to make a pronunciation video? I'm like, okay. So I did it, and then yeah, and it became it's so creative. Also, that's why I enjoy it. Like, how do I teach people how to say this in a relatable way?
Well, it works, and it's definitely catchy, and it kind of sticks. So it's everything you want.
Thank you. Yeah, no, everybody does the Beyonce dance.
Well, I'll save that for my own time, but I won't subject anybody else to that. Well, awesome. This has been a lot of fun, Ellen. So I think it's time to play a game. What do you say, Mr. Dan?
Oh, I'm always ready to drop a game on you folks.
Well, we'll see. How can I lose this time is really my question. I hope you didn't go for a speed game. I mean, she's not exactly close. That might put her at a disadvantage.
We'll make it work.
All right. Well, we'll see if Dan can make it work when we get back from this commercial break. Have you or a loved one been hurt in a board game accident, by a table, cut by a card, or worse? Have you suffered a DVT from sitting at a board game too long? Have you or someone you love lost fingers, appendages, or even life due to these games? Well, here at Meeple and Bits, we are the board game lawyers. No one understands board game law like we do. We will fight hard for your right. So be sure to contact us before you make any decision. You can reach us at 1-800-555-BITS. That's 1-800-555-BITZ. And remember to call us, because we don't get paid unless you do.
It's game time!
All right, everybody, welcome back. It is indeed game time, and I'm still joined by Ella, but now we're also going to be joined by our game master extraordinaire, the man with less hair but more beard than me. Dan, what do you have in store for us, sir?
Oh, I always have a juicy game ready for you folks. So
sometimes even two.
Yeah, indeed. We're peeling back the curtain a little bit, but yes.
Fourth wall.
So today's game. Now, my impression is that neither of you guys were Dungeons and Dragons players. Is that accurate? Is there a secret D&D player in the group here?
I did a
little bit.
The honest confession is I bought all the stuff. I bought the red box, the gold box, the teal box. I bought advanced player's manual, monster manual, and never played. I played
The
Top
red
Secret.
box.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, I had all the stuff, but it was, satanic panic. My parents were, mom was kind of Christian. It was like...
Yeah, that was a thing back in our age. Like, kids nowadays won't believe it, but yeah, that was a...
So I played Top Secret by TSR, which was their spy-based RPG, and I could occasionally get someone to play that with me.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's okay because I do not think it would be of any help to you in the tournament I'm about to apply. This is a game I call Monster Manual or Pokédex. I don't know if either of you are big Pokemon fans, but that's okay because it doesn't matter one way or another. It wouldn't have helped you in this case. But the
I
idea,
think it's actually got to be a benefit that we don't know either, right?
Indeed, I think it'll make it more fun for someone, if not either of you, certainly the viewers at home.
It'll be my excuse for failing.
There you go. I like where this is headed.
So I say Monster Manual. Technically, Monster Manual would have been second edition. So these are all. Every time what I'm going to give you is a pair of monsters or a pair of creatures. One of them is an actual creature from first edition, original Dungeons and Dragons, your classic red box, gold box series that you're talking about, Chris. The other of which is a Pokemon from the real world of Pokemon, of Ash and his friends. And you have to guess on your turn which is which in order to score a point.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So Ella will
I think
start.
we're equally matched on this one.
Well, for what it's worth, I think you would be.
Secretly Googling.
Have to be deep in the lore to have any hope here.
All right.
We'll start you off, Ella, with a pair here, Nixie and Swirlix. Which is a Pokemon and which is a Dungeons and Dragons monster?
Wow.
Nixie and Swirlix.
Swirlix, like swirl and then X.
Like
it helps.
We can do spellings. SWIRLIX.
There you go.
I would say Nixie is Pokemon and Swirlix is D&D.
The exact opposite, as a matter of fact. So,
My guess would have been the exact same thing. Just saying.
yeah, Nixies in Dungeons and Dragons, Nixies were 3 foot tall water sprites, kins of the pixies or the naiads, but yeah, Nixie and Swirlix the Pokemon.
All right.
So you've got the flavor
Yikes.
for the game I have in store now, Chris.
Yes.
For your first pass,
All right.
Revener and Trevenant.
Trevenant
Trevenant
and Revener.
and Revener.
Repeating it stalls for time.
I'm sure that extra 3-4 seconds of saying the words again.
I'm going to say the Revener is the Pokemon and the Trevenant is the D&D.
I'm really enjoying this game because that is not accurate. This is everything
the opposite of what I through.
Oh, so bad.
It's everything I hoped it would be. Yeah, a Revener is a humanoid figure with a skeletal hands and a skull head from the original Dungeons and Dragons game.
There's somebody somewhere is yelling at the screen, throwing stuff, and remember all those complaints we were talking about? They're going to show up on this one for this.
Even Pokemon. Oh, angry.
Oof.
All right, Ella, are you ready for your next pair?
I'm ready.
That's what I like to hear. Odic and Crocodile.
Oh God. Odic. I would say Odic is D&D. Crocodile is a Pokemon.
That's correct. So we have a... Oh, we should get a ding here. There we go.
Well done. Oh, and a ding. Wow, if you were on, Brawling Brothers, that's worth something.
I got it.
You're correct. And Odic is a type of undead spirit in the Dungeons and Dragons world. So you were correct that is the D&D monster. Okay. So which is the D&D monster, Chris, of this pair? Feraligatr and Tarantella.
Tarantella and Feraligator? The Quentin Tarantella, I think, is from D&D. And the other one that I forgot already is from Pokemon.
And you are incorrect, as a matter of fact.
Of course I am. The Quentin Tarantarator is not.
Yeah, I'm afraid the Tarantella is a Pokemon, and the Feraligator is a D&D monster.
See, but a Feraligator just sounds like a Pokemon. It really does. I'm just saying.
What you're saying is this was expertly assembled, and I appreciate that.
Right? Like there's somebody walking around my backyard trying to catch one of these things right now, I think.
It's very popular. Pokemon Go.
All right.
Which of the following is a Dungeons and Dragons monster, Ella? Fool or Tentacool?
Oh, God. Fool or Tentacool.
And that was a TH, by the way. If my pronunciation didn't come across,
Thoul?
it's THOUL, Thoul.
THOUL. Thoul. Tentacool. Oh my God. I would say Thoul would be D&D and Tentacool would be Pokemon.
Correct. See, she's got a handle on this thing.
Yeah, I think she does.
Yes, a Thoul is a magical combination of a ghoul, a hobgoblin, and a troll in Dungeons and Dragons lore.
It was on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, for bonus points, you feel free to supply that lore.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Of course. Sure. Let me get my phone.
Okay. Back to you, Chris. Which of the following is a Dungeons and Dragons monster? Athak or Whiskash?
Athak? It's not a duck, is it?
What you say? Attack.
Insurance
Yeah.
commercial
Athak.
mascot was not one of the options.
Athak. I think the Athak is going to be the D&D. And the other will be the Pokemon.
That's a final answer.
Sure.
For your first point in the game. Correct.
Oh. Woo, I have 50% of the points.
The Athak is a giant with a third arm in its chest, according to the original Dungeons and Dragons TSR manuals.
They were really smoking something back then.
Why would an arm in between your chest help? Like how?
Like, does it have two thumbs? Like, how does it... It's not... They're not opposable. Do you not get any thumbs? I'm very confused.
Is it a right arm? Is it a left arm? Is it
You
neither?
know,
it's
this is one of those times when you're going to make me, like, try and find this and pop up a picture in the video, because I need to find out what the heck this thing looks like.
that would have been tremendous. I did not have art on many of these. I have descriptions, but
now if you make me buy... Yeah, if you make me buy like a Gen 1 monster manual, it's going to come out of your salary, so.
Noted. I'll be on light beer next episode, so. Okay, we're back to Ella. For your fourth pair, which of these is a Dungeons and Dragons monster? Necrozma or Necrozon?
It's not like I even know the answer for hers.
Necrozon will be D&D. Necrozma is the Pokemon.
Oh, you are on a
Man.
you're on fire here. You cannot be stopped. That is correct.
So she's gotten 3 out of the 4?
Yeah, that's a true story.
Ouch.
She just needed to warm up a little bit, and then since then, boom.
It's nonstop.
Every time. Every time, without hesitation. What put you on that path that Necrozon was in fact a Dungeons and Dragons monster?
The spellings and Necrozon, because I'm trying to think of all because the names are like in the movies when it's fantastical. It's usually Ozon with the TH Cthulhu. So I'm like, and then Pokemon is more like spelling.
I think she's using her teaching skills against me.
There are probably some Pokemon Go players in the class. It might be helping. So it's true. A Necrozon is a buffalo-like creature with a long neck and a boar's head at the end of it.
Of course.
Which sounds delightful.
It does. Sounds tasty is what it
Why
sounds.
not? Add an arm and the chest, that would be better.
All right, Chris, are you ready?
All right.
Which of the following is a Dungeons and Dragons monster? Probopass or Grabgrass?
Probozon? Wow. Proboras?
Probopass
or
or Grabgrass?
Grabgrass.
One of them is a Pokemon, the other a D&D monster.
So my gut is that Probopass is D&D. So I'm actually going to say Probopass is actually a Pokemon, and Grabgrass is D&D.
And your basis for now, your answers is to just do the
opposite of my
what
gut.
you think. This is a brilliant strategy because that is correct. Grabgrass, one of the less creative Dungeons and Dragons monsters. It's actually just animated grass that attacks you.
Wow, I'd hate to see what Crabgrass does. Wow.
And yes, Probopass is a Dungeons and Dragons monster. Okay, for our final question, we go into the final question with Ella up on 3-2 on Chris. So the door is still open for Chris to make a comeback. Mathematically, he's still in the game here. Ella can shut the door with a correct answer now. Which of these is a Dungeons and Dragons monster? Obama Snow or Man Scorpion?
Oh, it's like someone wasn't even trying. It's like, I think I saw that. Dwayne Johnson did that, right?
He was a Man Scorpion.
I would say Obama's. Oh God, this is really
Obama.
hard.
Obama Scorpion.
What is it?
Yes, Obama Snow or Man Scorpion?
That's spelled with an A, not an O, I assume.
Obama,
A, as in like abominable. ABOMASNOW.
This one is hard. I would say I go with my opposite of my gut also. Let me see. Man Scorpion.
Yeah, but your gut's been good.
I know. Man Scorpion. Obama Snow. I would say Obama Snow is the D&D. Man Scorpion is the Pokemon.
I'm afraid not.
Oh,
I'm afraid that the door is still open for Chris to make his comeback because a Man Scorpion is in fact a humanoid body, a humanoid torso on a scorpion's body, and is a Dungeons and Dragons monster, and Obama Snow. Now you've got me doing it.
Obama Snow.
Nope.
God,
Thanks, Obama.
mental picture of Obama.
Oh, if we had fans who could draw, that would be great. That would be great.
Yeah.
We'll have to ask both of them.
Hey, three now, including me.
Well, thank you.
It's good to hear. All right. For the final question, you have a chance here to tie it up and maybe send us into a bonus round. I don't know. So, Chris.
Statistics would say that's not likely, but okay.
Which of the following is a Dungeons and Dragons monster? Nuzleaf or Nuckelavee? Yeah, one of those. We'll go with Nuckelavee. Nuzleaf or Nuckelavee?
I think the Nuzleaf has to be the Pokemon. It just sounds cute.
Leaving Nuckelavee as the Dungeons and Dragons monster?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like, and this is the logic that's failed me multiple times now. But I kids, Pokemon, cute, Pikachu. Like that's where my brain's at.
Okay. And in this case, your instincts are correct.
Oh.
Nuzleaf is in fact an adorable little Pokemon. And Nuckelavee is an amphibious relative of a centaur.
All right. So what are we thinking for the bonus round?
Can you imagine us swimming? Wow.
I know, right? That's just creepy.
Yeah, I know.
So a thought.
That one, your scoop.
Yeah, no, that would not be fun. I wouldn't want to see a man scorpion either, for that matter.
I don't know. Oh, Mama Snow.
Obama Snow.
Mascot.
Well, that's going in the edits. What I think you could do is, if you have a couple more, is you could give us each one, and we go until somebody's wrong.
Well,
And we say whether it's Pokemon or D&D based on one.
I probably should have stopped after 4 rounds in order to accomplish that. So what we're going to do instead is
We're going to call it a draw.
we're going to offer one more. I'm going to take each of you. I'm going to let each of you offer an answer. If you guys end up on opposite sides, then we have one winner. If you guys both think the same on this, then we're going to have to end in a draw. But here it is, our last pair. And Ella will have the first guess here. Which of the following is a Dungeons & Dragons monster? Which is a Pokemon? Sporcle and Porygon.
Porygon is the. My God, Porygon is the. Oh, this is hard. Porygon.
Sporkle.
I would say Porygon is the Pokemon, and Spore is the D&D.
Oh, see, Dan, it works because I'm thinking the opposite.
All right, so who has which? You have which, Chris?
So, Sporkle is D&D for her, right, Elle?
Yes.
And Pokemon for me.
Okay.
Porygon.
And Sporcle is in fact a Dungeons and Dragons monster. Porygon is a Pokemon. So
Rigged. It's
So we
rigged,
have-
I tell you.
on our tiebreaker, Ella comes away with it. Congratulations to our guest.
Well done. Well done. That I don't know where that one came from, but I think that there's a game where we just put right. I think that there's a game where there's just a ton of decks of weird names, and you just have to. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think I'm taking this one commercial. I'm not going to be pitching this to any publishers anytime soon. So.
I mean, it's no what people search.
Obama's no card. Come on.
Oh yeah. I need to have on like Kwanchai Moria and make him draw Obama Snow for me. I think
That
that's.
should be your Obama Snow.
I like it. It just works. Well, Dan, that was a lot of fun.
Glad
Thank
you
you. That was definitely both educational and entertaining at the same time.
And creepy.
Absolutely. And it kind of makes me want to hunt down an old monster manual for some stupid reason I can't explain at all.
That's the joy we're trying to spread right there.
Absolutely. Well, Miss Ella, this has been an enjoyable evening/morning.
Oh, thank you. Feeling is mutual. Thank you so much for having me.
It was definitely a lot of fun. Where can people find you if they would like to search for you on all the internets?
If you want to see my gaming pics, I'm on Instagram. It's Ella Loves Board Games. So at Ella Loves Board. I'm on Twitter. It's Ella Loves BG because you have to be concise. And I'm also on Facebook as I'm on Facebook and YouTube as Ella Loves Board Games.
Well, thank you guys at home for watching. Thank you, Ellen, for being on. And be sure to pronounce it right the next time you game all night.
Well, that's a wrap. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed our efforts at comedy and fun, please support us on Podpledge. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And of course, don't forget to engage with us on Board Game Geek Guild 3134. You can also check us out on our website, GameAllNightShow.com.
And this show has been made possible through supporters like these. Game All Night is proud to be sponsored by Game Toppers. Check them out at GameToppersLLC.com, upgrading your gaming experience.
Angry Octopus.
Good. I'll try to finish my beer. You try to finish your chai, and then we'll call it mission accomplished.
Are you going to have to follow me back in order for me?
Oh, I see. You're just trying to get followers now.
See, now I really did just scam Ella into a follow back because